Okay, I have one more. Fade out. Many years ago, during the 80s, we had a lot of wonderful events with the Sonoma County Wineries Association. And one of the best times was with Queen Ida and her Bone Tone Zydeco Band. So let me, I just had to reprise her real quickly, and then we'll get on with our meeting. You guys remember her? We gotta go down the valley. Oh my John, sweetest one, feel my son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on fire. All right, we'll fade out on that one. You know, I was thinking a great fundraiser, a big street dance when this whole thing is over. So good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday morning, Ash Wednesday. I just haven't quit partying from last night, so you'll have to forgive me. Mardi Gras goes on and on. So Steve Ruitt is not here. And he was going to be our craft talker today. So instead of Steve giving an inspiration, I just wanted to give an inspiration that I saw on Instagram yesterday. Jay Beckwith, where is he? There he is. He said, if I knew getting old was this much fun, I would have started earlier, right? I thought that was pretty funny. And then in the spirit of Mardi Gras, let the good times roll. So on to Lent, give up all the fun things you haven't given up over the last 9 months, right? So today we have a couple things. We have somebody, first of all, I know I'm being a little bit scattered here. There's Alina, our exchange student heading to Korea. Welcome, Alina. And we have Kathy Flamson, past district governor, who's going to be talking about a Rotary Youth Exchange. Jim Morris, good morning, returning guest. And Tom, Tom, you're a member. I was introducing you. And Oded, is it Shaked? Did I say that right? Proprietor of Longboard Vineyards and master winemaker. And I think those are our guests today. So welcome. Thank you for joining us. Yesterday, we had just to give a little background to our guests, we are embarking on a project with Rotary International called SRAG, which stands for Environmental Sustainability Rotarian Action Group. And Rotary International, along with polio and other initiatives, has taken on an effort to improve our climate and our world, to make it a better place. And one of the projects we have undertaken is a pollinator project. So we're trying to plant plants to help bees and butterflies, because they are, as you know, in some decline. So Jay has been the spearhead of this. And yesterday we had a Zoom event with some pollinator professionals, you might say. And Jay wanted me to have the folks who were on the call, Lance, Diane, Larry Mills, and Andy, if you wanted to just mention anything about this call yesterday. We had a lot of people on it. It was very interesting. Anybody would want to just give a quick recap?
Well, I'll chime in. There were 27 people on, according to my Zooms,
Larry Mills,
participant numbers. And from the community, very broad.
Can you guys hear Larry?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. She's got a problem.
Okay. Anyway, it was a good large group, and the Zoom meeting was billed as Ask the Experts. And we had experts. We had, I particularly, this is speaking for myself, I particularly enjoyed two gentlemen from the Pollinator Partnership, which is a San Francisco group, and they have a wealth of information about improving habitat for pollinators, bees and butterflies and whatnot, and they were quite good. But we did have three local folks who talked about actual gardens and other projects that are in progress in Healdsburg and Windsor. And I think it was, to me, it seemed as if it was very well received. I was trying to keep my eye on the participants to see if anybody was going to sleep, and everybody seemed to be engaged. And so there's a lot of enthusiasm. They're anticipating that our club is going to take the lead in distributing seeds and plant starts next month. So that was the timeline we gave them. And we announced another meeting, a Zoom meeting, informational meeting coming up later this month. So anyway, I thought it was a really nice event, and kudos to Jay for organizing it.
To follow up, you guys, my team, you'll see in your email this morning a list of plants or seeds and a budget, or at least items in there. So I have a complete plan. I'll have that detailed out either later today or tomorrow for sure. We'll do a seed giveaway, not unlike what we've done in the past, except that I've got a way to engage our local nurseries in the whole process. So we're off and running with that. Thanks for your help. It was a spectacular meeting.
Thank you, Jay, and everybody. This is exciting. I actually bought some monarch butterfly milkweed seeds yesterday. So easy, just go buy them. So thank you. Andy, did you have anything to say about the bike tour? Our bike tour is coming up July 24th.
Yes, our bike, Giro Vignetti, Healdsburg bike tour, ride in the vineyards, July 24th. Right now, our two main objectives, one, to get the registration up and running by March 15th. We're going to use Eventbrite. And also by March 31st to have our sponsors all lined up. With the virtual event, the challenge to get sponsors isn't that great because we don't need to raise that much. Whatever we do raise is primarily going to go into club efforts like scholarships and different community programs that we support. But your help would be appreciated. If you or your business or your neighbor or your mom or dad would like to sponsor, let me know.
Sounds good. So I have a topic that needs to be discussed among our membership, and actually our guests are welcome to be a part of that. Oh, and there's Jim O'Grady. Welcome. Jim, do you want to actually take a minute now to deliver your message?
Sure, that would be great. Thank you for having me.
Okay, let me introduce you real fast. You're with the Petaluma Valley?
Yes.
Okay, Jim is a Rotarian with the Petaluma Valley Rotary Club, and he is joining us for a couple minutes this morning because Rotary, our district is putting on a business and ethics conference in October. So Jim asked to have a couple minutes to talk about that.
All right. Well, thank you for having me this morning. I'm here today to announce a new district-wide recognition award for local businesses. This North Coast Ethics in Business Award is a vision of our Rotary District 5130 District Governor Doug Johnson. DG Johnson strongly believes that Rotary's four-way test and core values are closely aligned with the concept of ethics in business. This Rotary Award program will honor those organizations demonstrating ethical business practices in the workplace, the marketplace, and in our communities. There will be 3 award recipients recognized for their demonstration of going beyond the expected to achieve excellent and ethical practices. And actually, there's 3 awards in 4 different categories: small, medium, and large businesses, and a nonprofit category. These district-wide 2020 awards will be given at a luncheon at the inaugural event for this multi-community presentation. Nominations for the awards are solicited from the public, and the award recipients will be chosen by a blue ribbon committee of North Coast business leaders. Customers, employees, friends, and other stakeholders who have witnessed exceptional ethical behavior are asked to nominate companies. Our district committee for this program needs your help as Rotarians in 3 ways. First, do you have or know of a business that may be interested in being one of our contributing sponsors for the event? Second, do you know of a business that should be nominated to receive this prestigious recognition? And third, please make plans to attend the awards luncheon with your fellow club members on October 8th, 2021. And this is at the same time as our district conference. And that'll be held at the Doubletree in Roner Park. And one other thing, we are giving district-wide scholarships, $1,000 scholarships to eligible interactors and RILA students. So we want to honor them too. So if you want more information, I believe you've been sent a flyer similar to the one on my screen. And you can also go to northcoasethics.com or contact me if you have any further information. But you'll be hearing about this as time moves along. And if you have any feedback, we would certainly appreciate it. So thank you again for allowing me to tell you a little bit about this morning.
All right. Well, thank you. Sorry about that. What I wanted to do next is this chat room for maybe 8 minutes. The district is wanting to know how everybody is doing relative to getting their COVID vaccinations, just in general, getting taking everybody's temperature on this, if you pardon the pun. So we wanted to know, how are folks handling the pandemic? Who has been scheduled for their first or second shot? And what have you learned to do differently during COVID? Is there something kind of strange or new that has happened because of what we've been up against? And if you wouldn't mind putting us into chat rooms, and if somebody wouldn't mind taking notes and then feeding back to me. I'm supposed to actually get this back to the district because they want to make sure, they just want to find out how everybody's doing relative to the vaccinations.
All right, I will shuffle everyone off into.
So yeah, kind of the important thing, have you had your shot? Are you getting, what's your plan for it? If you've had it, did you get sick? Just kind of an update on everybody. And we'll pull y'all back in about 5 to 7 minutes. Okay?
All right, everyone should be coming back into the room, the main room here.
Nancy, should we email you the notes or put them in the chat, or how do you want the notes from the meetings?
You're muted.
You're on mute.
Yes, please email me the notes if you wouldn't mind. Thank you very much. All right, a couple things. Thank you for doing that, everybody. That's one thing I learned about the pandemic is we can do these chat rooms. which I think are kind of fun. Lance is having a birthday, February 20th.
This is true.
Just wanted to recognize you, Lance. You can do whatever you want, or we can just move on to the next birthday. What are you gonna
No,
do for your birthday?
absolutely. I'm doing a virtual wine tasting on my birthday, a virtual barrel tasting. So I'm with Del Dotto. They did 6 mini bottles thieved out of barrels and shipped them over, and we'll be doing a Zoom thing with tasting those. So that should be kind of fun, and having some good food. So I guess I'll put in $52 to the club.
Oh my goodness. I wasn't even going to ask you how old.
That's 19 and holding. Is that close?
Thank you. And Jack Mallinson, where are you? Jack has a birthday on the 23rd, so wishing you a happy birthday. Are you going to do anything special?
Well, I think we're just going to have a barbecue and maybe some special beer.
Did you get some Pliny the Younger?
No, I probably won't get that.
No, I just know if you were able to get some when the
No, I didn't
3
get
minutes was available. So happy birthday on the 23rd, Jack.
Thank you.
And Sean and Joe, you are having an anniversary on the 18th, right? Do you remember that? Sean's cruising around. Anyway, happy anniversary, Sean, to you and Joe.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. That's glad that you reminded me. I'll surprise Jo. She doesn't think I remember anything. She thinks
That's why you
I'm
come to
getting.
Rotary to remember your anniversary.
She figures I got Alzheimer's anyway. So good.
Okay, really quickly, I wanted to let you all know about a raffle that Santa Rosa Rotary Club is having. And let me just go on to that real fast so I could share my screen. So I had 2 thoughts about this. This is the Santa Rosa Rotary Club's raffle. The tickets are $50 a piece, and you can win a cruise for 2 on the historic Rhine River, or $10,000 in cash. So if our club buys a raffle ticket and wins, that could be our fundraiser. What do you think? $50? Anyway, if you are interested in buying a raffle ticket for this fundraiser, I will send you the information after the meeting so that you can contact them to buy a ticket. So I just wanted to let you know. I think they're picking the winner in March. So that is that. And then really fast, let's see, we have another couple minutes here. Oh, there's our wonderful poster. I wanted to have fun with Jay. Jay, are you still here? Jay still in the meeting?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Jay uses spell check, but doesn't always work contextually. So I just wanted to see if Jay knows the difference between a POLE and a POLL. Jay, can you identify the POLE?
The POLE, that would be the stick on my right.
Good job. And a POLL is when you take a survey, correct?
Now, wait, this is not a spell check error. This is my dyslexia checking in.
Oh, okay. Well, and then I noticed the word roll was also, we had a little issue with the word roll. So I just wanted you to see if you could, between this lovely lady and these, which is the ROLL?
I don't know. They both have nice buns.
All right. Well, I just thought we'd have a moment of fun with Jay. And this is beautiful Judy Garland in her role as the beautiful Judy Garland. Anyway, thank you for letting me have a moment to pick on you. Let's see, where am I now? Okay, well, I think at this very moment, we should have Edward introduce our esteemed guest speaker so we can learn about Rotary Youth Exchange.
All right, thanks, Nancy. Today we have Kathy Flamson, who's a member of the Calistoga Rotary Club and has been since around January of 2003. She has served on many committees with her club, particularly the Youth Exchange chairperson. She's dedicated to serving youth and has been doing so in other organizations throughout her adult life. She's the mother of 2 adult sons and one who was an outboard Youth Exchange ambassador. She's currently the immediate past district governor for District 5130 and is serving as the district's youth chairperson and the Youth Exchange Club development chairperson. Nancy, here's Kathy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for letting me come in this morning. I'm sorry I left my my hat in the other room, but I did bring my mug. And I will apologize because Zoom keeps kicking out my my video, so hopefully it won't hurt my presentation. Thank you, Elena, for being here. What an honor to have an outbound student here with us. So I'm going to share my screen. What I'm talking about most of all today is the where we are with Youth Exchange in the district. And I don't know if, Elena, if you were one of the lucky ones that got chosen this year to be an outbound, or if you were able to be an outbound from before, because, you know, COVID kind of messed with all of us a lot. So we're going to talk a little bit about from the beginning. And I have to say thank you for Healdsburg Sunrise for supporting the program. It's such a good program, and without clubs like you and communities like yours, we couldn't do it. So thank you. So for those of you that don't know, what is a youth exchange? What is the program? And it's a study abroad program. And the youth ambassadors are ages 15 to 19. And they live in the local community, either inbound or outbound, or as we love to call them, innies or outies. Typically, the students are juniors in high school, and they're chosen in their sophomore year. They usually do that so that they have time, as juniors, have time to prepare for their year, a senior year, so they can get ready for college and everything they need to do for that. So that's why there's that age specificity. We have 2 types of outbound students, exchange programs. Believe it or not, we know a lot about this long-term exchange, which is 8 to 12 months in duration. It centers around a student visa, which is done by the State Department, a J visa. And we have host families, typically 2 or 3. Sometimes we have more, sometimes we have fewer. And there are mandatory and non-mandatory events that the ambassadors participate in. So the exchange typically lasts about 10 months. It kind of depends on the school year. And it's usually not a direct family-to-family exchange in the long-term exchange. However, when my son went to Brazil, and we had someone from the same town come here to Calistoga, it wasn't a direct, it was at that time a direct exchange. It wasn't supposed to be, but that's what it ended up being. And it was great. We had a great time with the 2 families kind of getting to know each other a little better. But typically we like to spread the enjoyment of each other's company a little more. So usually it's different family members. COVID kind of got us all a little crazed getting our ambassadors back safely and getting those ambassadors that were here home safely. So we had several outbound students already chosen, and then COVID hit. And then, as I said, there was an age limit. Some of those that were chosen to go out as ambassadors aged out, so they could not go. We had 2 age out, which is unfortunate, but luckily for us, there were, we had 11 originally, but now we have 10 outbound students. So we had 8 that were able to sustain the program. And we have something a little new this year. Although we have exchanged with Africa in the past, we haven't most recently. So we have 3 clubs that are doing a one-way inbound exchange from Africa, and I'll go over that a little bit later. So that's kind of the long-term exchange. And we also have what's called the short-term exchange, which is just what it says. It's typically a month. It's usually in the summer. It's usually a family-to-family reciprocal kind of kid swap where we match a student with another student in another country. So while one student is visiting the other country, the student in that household stays, and then they meet again in the reciprocal country. So that's kind of a short-term, typically summer exchange. We don't have a lot of that in our district, but it's an option, and it's something for those students that can't manage a year-long exchange. It's a way to get to exchange without the long-term. We had an exchange student 2 years ago whose sister couldn't do a long-term exchange because of her school requirements. So she did a short-term exchange in Colorado, had a great time, and it was a very meaningful experience, although short, but it still meant a lot to her. So that's available. So what does a youth exchange ambassador look like? You have a beautiful one in your club. So it's a young person, 15 to 19, but you can't be any younger than 15 and a half or any older than 18 and a half when you leave, or by August 1st of the year that you depart. My son was very young. He barely made the 15 and a half when he left, but he did go, and he had a November birthday, so he was a young student anyway in his class. And what we're looking for are ambassadors that demonstrate leadership in school and in the community. And that doesn't always mean the A students. We have leaders in every aspect of our community and in school. So look for the ambassadors that are good leaders and that they are flexible and willing to learn new things and open to different cultural approaches. And you never know what you're going to learn. I think one of the things that we learn the most is that we're all more alike than we think. So, but being open to change is really important. So what does it cost for the club for the long-term exchange? There's a monthly stipend, and there are district and or school events that the clubs can pay for, that are budgeted for. In Calistoga, we typically paid for, besides the district events like the district conference, and there are every quarter there's a gathering of the students, both inbound and outbound. But we also paid for the prom costs or the yearbook or things like that. So there are some costs that the club can help the exchange student pay for. So what does the club pay as far as the short-term exchange? Really, there's none. There's no expense. However, if the club wants to, and if it's embracing this type of exchange, you can always have fundraisers to help take the financial burden off of the outbound student's family. You can do scholarships or help the outbound student earn money in certain ways, like having different kinds of fundraisers. So that typically doesn't cost the club anything. So what does it cost the ambassador? The outbound application fee for short term is about $250, and for long term it's about $600. And we also cost a little more for the airfare because it's an open-ended ticket. And I think if nothing else, we learned from COVID that having an open-ended ticket is really important to bring our ambassadors home safely. We were glad we had open-ended tickets, so there was no date of when they were to return. And also there are reasons why the ambassador might need to go home early. We had a student in our home that her family had lost a family member, and she went home. So I mean, there are reasons. Sometimes they're homesick. Sometimes, things just don't work out. Sometimes we have a pandemic. So it's good to have open-ended airfare. There's insurance that we typically require, usually health insurance, and travel documents can cost some money as well, and spending money for additional travel and tours. I don't know if any of you are aware that District 5130 offers what's called a Western Safari. And although it's put on by our district, it is not used solely by the district exchange ambassadors. We have ambassadors from all over coming to take part in this. And it's a several weeks long tour of California and the area. So they go to Yosemite and certainly visit the Redwoods here and Disneyland, things like that. So there are tours that they can take. And now there are many more tours. I think there's one to Hawaii and one to New York. So there are opportunities for our ambassadors to travel, as well as our outbounds can do the same in the country that they're going to. So host families. This is really so important to provide host families. They give room and board. We share our lives with our students, and we have fun. I love having students the first quarter or the first household, especially if that includes Halloween. I like sharing how to make jack-o'-lanterns with people who have never stuck their hand in a pumpkin to pull the guts out before. That's always fun to do. And then to see their jack-o'-lantern on the front porch for the week before Halloween. So it's fun to share those things with our ambassadors, as you well know in your club. Some of you might not be aware of ROTEX. I'm sure Elena is. ROTEX are youth exchange ambassadors who've returned. They're mentors for the inbound and outbound, and they're a great resource to our district. And I hope Elena can manage in her schedule to participate in that. District 5130 was one of the few, if not the only, organized active ROTEX programs in the United States. It's a club, basically. And we use the ROTEX members a lot. And I think that's what's made it so strong in our district, is that we do utilize them, because you come back from your exchange and it's nice to be able to help. The other thing that I really want to emphasize is that once you've been a youth exchange ambassador, you can join the Rotary Alumni Association, which is something that you need to apply for, but that's also another way to stay in connection with Rotary. So that's an opportunity for our youth exchange ambassadors to be in the alumni. Some of the miscellaneous things we're going to talk about, our district leadership. We, I think, have one of the most all-encompassing committees in the district. It takes every corner of the district into account, and we have people from all over the district. As I said, the year 21-22 exchange candidates were already chosen, and they're going through the process of being trained. And there's some expectation of going to events for the outbound, and we obviously don't have any inbound at this time. So if you're going to have an outbound exchange student for next year, it's, start thinking about that in the spring or early fall. Wessex. I don't know if any of you have heard of Wessex. It's a non-commercial organization, which District 5130 is one of the founding members. And there are 18 districts in this, and it's one of the largest, if not the largest, multi-district organization in the United States. And we use Wessex quite a lot. It really helps us to combine our resources to make sure that our inbound and outbound programs run smoothly. We can share best practices. It also helps us wade through the State Department requirements. So Wessex is a great companion for us. I should say also there's another organization called NYN, which is North American Youth Exchange something. I forget what the N stands for, but it's a group also. So the State Department, they actually are the ones that help us get this program going. It's through the State Department that we can enjoy the opportunities for student travel abroad with a J visa. But there were a lot of different things that we needed to do during COVID, and Wessex helped us wade through that. So State Department is our friend. And I think that the Rotary Youth Exchange program is really a shining star for them. There are a lot of youth exchange programs, but Rotary certainly is the one that is known worldwide. So the State Department helps keep us in line and doing the right thing. And you know, Wessex helps us cross our T's and dot our I's with them. So some of the countries that we share with, we exchange with. In Europe, we exchange with Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Germany, the Netherlands, France, Spain, Italy, Austria, and Switzerland. And in Asia is South Korea, Taiwan, Thailand, Indonesia, Japan, and Turkey will be hosting soon. In Latin America, Paraguay, Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, Chile, and there's a district in southern Mexico that's on standby. And Africa, we're starting up again. So we have exchanged, we're going to exchange, one-way exchange inbound with Nigeria and Kenya. And the countries that were, we actually don't exchange with countries, we exchange with districts. And the districts are certified through Rotary. So they have, we in our district, as well as the districts that we exchange with, have to meet certain guidelines. And you may have heard countries that are new, and there might be countries that aren't on the list anymore. And it could be for many reasons, but typically it's because two reasons. First of all, we don't have enough students to exchange with everybody that we'd love to. And secondly, they might not be on the list anymore of certified and approved Rotary districts. So that's part of why we choose the districts we choose. Some of the challenges, I think the biggest challenge we always hear of and why many clubs don't participate anymore is because of host families. Finding host families is a big challenge. And as we all know, you don't have to be a Rotarian to be a host family member, but it's a great way to expose families that aren't in the Rotary family to Rotary itself. The other challenge might be in finding good candidates. And that can be quickly remedied by sharing our candidates with each other. I know Calistoga has shared candidates with clubs that haven't gotten any students that have applied. So there's always a way to do this. Getting new clubs involved is also a challenge. And we have a great committee that will help walk any new club through the process. And one of the things that I think is important to remember, though we didn't have exchanges taking place in this last year, the committee hasn't been sitting back, and they've been continuously improving the training and using different softwares and updating the website. Also making the process a little less cumbersome. Hopefully it'll be a little more user-friendly. So that's some of the things we've been doing. Instead of just sitting back and waiting for COVID to be over, we've been trying to hone our skills and make the program a little more efficient. So our youth exchange website is ye5130.org. check it out. It's a great website. There's a huge amount of information on the website. You can also access it by going to the district website, which is rotary5130.org. And I have to say that I do think that it's one of the most organized and well-run committees in the district. If you are interested in working in the committee, on the committee, certainly take a look to see where your interests might lie. Last year, I put job descriptions on our district website. So if you're thinking about maybe what would that entail if I wanted to do a certain position, you can check it out. If it's something that we have a description for, it'll be there, and you can look for that. Let's see, what the last slide I have is I just wanted to show you this because I thought it struck me when I read this. This is what, when I Googled Youth Exchange, Rotary Youth Exchange, this is what came up. And the thing that I loved about this more than anything is it says that young leaders serve as catalysts for peace. I think that's really important to understand that. And our ambassadors learn that they are representing the United States. And I think a lot, even more than that, California. People have incredible ideas about what Californians do and what they're like. And it's not Baywatch here. You know, we had an exchange student think that it was going to be Baywatch, and they'd go to the beach and everybody was tan and muscled, and yeah, that's not the case. So, but we are also catalysts for peace. You can't have peace if you don't know each other well. And this is a great way to have peace. So I appreciate what our ambassadors are doing, and I cherish that part of their exchange. So that was my presentation, and I apologize. Zoom has been kicking me my video off, so if I go blank, it's not that I don't want to see your faces, but my video keeps popping off. But anyway, I'm here for questions if you have any. And Elena, thank you. Do you want to say anything to share with us? I'm probably saying your name wrong, number one.
You're saying my name right. It's Elena. Yeah, I'm just super excited to be able to do my exchange next year. And honestly, it's such a great opportunity. I jumped on the boat a little late, though. I didn't know about Rotary until my junior year, which is this year. So I'm going to be going to South Korea for my senior year. But I feel like even though online schooling has made it difficult, it was an opportunity for me to be able to cram both of my years into 1 year and be able to do the exchange. And thank you, Rotary Sunrise, for sponsoring Rotary Exchange. As Katie said it, it's because of clubs like you that students like me get to be able to experience new cultures.
So are you learning to speak the language?
I am learning. It's a bit difficult, but I'm pulling through.
That's always the interesting part, is to see how well you can speak the language. Our son was hoping to go to Belgium, and he knew a little French, so he thought he might have that covered, and then he found out he's going to Brazil and had to learn Portuguese in the matter of, I think, 2 or 3 months. So that was a kind of a scramble for him, but anyway, I learned how to say mom and dad because I'd hear him say Maia, Paia. Any questions?
Kathy, I wanted to know if any of our former outbound students have joined Rotex.
Yes, we have yours particularly, whether from Sunrise. I don't know where they're from, but if you wanted to check out the club, I guess that's what I'd call it, Rotex, you can go to the website, the district website, and check it and see if you see any faces that you recognize. But typically, as soon as someone comes back, well, actually before then, when they leave, I'm sure Elena is going through this right now with having, they contact the Rotex mentors contact our ambassadors right away, so that they have someone that they can talk to. And I don't know if they pair country to country, so they can kind of, everybody can ask questions, those things that you want to know about and don't think about. Elena, is that correct? Did they pair you with someone?
I have not been paired with someone from someone who has went to South Korea, but there's a group chat of all the outbound students.
Yeah, good. Yeah. So Rotex does help with that, and but you could check their website. Go to the district website, go into youth, and there should be a Rotex tab, and it's got their officers. It doesn't have every member, but it does have the officers that are involved in that club.
Okay. I also, so Nigeria and Kenya are the two countries that we could be receiving a student from. Do we know when that announcement will be made?
So I know that the inbound person, and actually Haider Agina is our district chair. He's been working with them. I don't know if everything's in place yet. I haven't heard. We're having a meeting next Monday to find out exactly what 3 students are coming over. We have 3 clubs that have volunteered to take in an extra inbound student. So we should find out soon. I don't know exactly which of the countries are being represented. If 2 are from one country and 1's from another, I don't know that yet, but we should be finding that out soon.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any questions for Kathy about Youth Exchange?
Well, we have, how many here have had a student in their home?
We had
not through Rotary. Go ahead, Andy.
We had our first exchange student 18 years ago, Thoi from Thailand. And since then, we've had Emma from Denmark, Betty from Sweden, and most recently, Marta from Germany. And the club has heard me say this before, but it's a wonderful experience. Those young people are now parts of our family. We have visited Thoi in Thailand. We visited Emma's family in Denmark, and we're looking forward to doing the same with Betty in Sweden and Marta in Germany. They are part of our family now.
And look at you remembering everybody's name and country. That's pretty good for you. Yeah, it does. It kind of shrinks the world, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, this is a good topic since this is Peace and Conflict Resolution Month that we're talking about our youth ambassadors. And it's a wonderful program. So no more questions for Kathy?
On another topic, real quick, if anybody's interested, we are in need of an Interact chairman for the district. Pat Miller's been Interact chairman for, I think, 7 years, and she wants to share that with someone else. She's there to help wherever she can, but needs to get some help for her. So if anybody in your club would love to help with Interact for the district, I think once COVID's gone and we're back in school, everybody's back in school, we're going to need to make sure that the clubs have filled out all their paperwork and are doing well. So if you know of anybody that would like to help on a district level, we really need someone to help with Interact. So,
okay, we will give that some thought.
Good, thank you.
So thank you for joining us today, Kathy. Just part of our thank you that we like to give to our speakers is to donate to Polio Plus in your name. So to continue the Rotary International way of doing things. So thank you again.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing who our student is and sending Alina off with the best of luck. But we will be seeing you well before then, right, Alina? Okay.
Yeah, you're going to have a great time.
So next week is our board meeting, so we're dark for that. The following week, March 3rd, our guest speaker is Vitaly Bezrodov. I hope I said that correct, who will be speaking about the Rotary Children's Fund. In the meantime, I was supposed to call Bob Mosby over the weekend, and I didn't get to it because I was planting seeds with my son's greenhouse. But I am going to be getting together the wines for our next wine tasting group. And so if those of you who are in the wine group, I think there are 9 or 10 of us, maybe 12, could you email me and let me know how you're feeling about getting back together again in an outdoor situation? We put it off for January just because people were uncomfortable with the direction COVID was taking. But now that we're getting vaccinated, we're able to convene outdoors again. I'm hoping we can get this going rather quickly. So please email me individually and let me know your comfort level.
If I could just jump in on the wine thing for a minute, I want to give a shout out to Diane Bucher. Some time ago, she gave me a bottle of her Bucher Pinot Noir. I think it was 360. And this past weekend, I finally was able to taste it, and it is a wonderful bottle of wine. So if any of you are inclined, go out immediately and buy that wine. It is quite delicious. It really is quite wonderful.
I drink to that.
Yeah. All right.
I'm also enjoying the Bucher Sonoma Rosa.
All
Diane,
right.
I'm supposed to get a half a case of that from you. I will come and get it.
I'm getting thirsty.
And well, you should.
Okay, very good, Bob. And thank you, Bob, for doing this and leading the way. It's very, very nice.
My pleasure. And it's
hell of an education.
So before we sign off, George Dutton, it's so nice to see you. Are you back at work? Or are you in your kitchen?
He's back from Hawaii.
Oh, unmute yourself, George, if you don't mind. There you go.
It's awful quiet.
He unmuted, then he muted again. Can you unmute him, Lance? Oh, you're unmuted now, George.
I'm here.
Did you go to Hawaii?
You know, it's a perfect time to go to Hawaii. Yes, I did. I spent about 10 days in Hawaii, on the island of Hawaii, with my best friend from high school in his condo. Traveled the island extensively. No one there to speak of. Most restaurants, about half were open. We had a great time. Perfect time to go. Take 2 tests, one when you leave, one when you get there. So frankly, over there, I felt pretty safe.
Nice. So
It's wonderful.
You were on the Big Island?
Hawaii, yes.
And did you have a chance to see the volcano that was
Oh, yeah.
erupting?
But it's pretty much closed off in that area. You could sure see the devastation, though.
Wow.
Yeah, you could only get up about halfway to the observation area.
Well, good.
Very interesting, though.
I'm glad you were able to get away and have some fun. Your best friend from
It was
high
wonderful.
school. Wow. Was
Yeah.
that in Sebastopol?
No, from Petaluma. He's in Petaluma. I mean, we went to high school in Santa Rosa, Montgomery High. Jack Valerga, one of our instructors.
Wow.
Yep.
He must have been just a baby right out of college at that time.
Right. It was wonderful. Thank you.
Well, it's nice to see you and nice to hear you. You do have a nice glow about you. So
Well,
you could have been at Mardi
I'm
Gras.
still in the Hawaii mood. I really haven't been able to get back to looking at any work or anything, but I probably will today.
Well, good. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any comments before we close up? No? see, what could I say? I could do my Jim Morris. I always want to call you Jim Morrison. Anyway, thank you for joining us today. And
my pleasure.
I will be reaching out to you and appreciate your signing in. It looks like Oded signed off, but hopefully we will see him again. And board members, I hope you're all looking closely at the list that Diane sent. I went through it last night and have maybe more than 2 or 3 I want to invite. So hopefully we can get some new members in the club. Anyway, if there is nothing else, close this meeting, go plant some milkweed, and have a good day. Thank you, everybody.